off. K9PQ. Testing. Static on your audio.
I've got the antenna up as far as I can make it go, so is it good enough?
Readable, but probably about 10% distortion.
Going, K9PQ clear.
ZYM clear.
How's this, Dave?
Same, still a little QRM on it.
Max power, how about this?
Well, I'd say it's about 100% improvement over 30 seconds ago.
Continue to use this instead of Echo Link then. Thanks, K9PQ clear.
ZYM clear. net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit at 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater. It spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, for voice channels, we use this WW7ATS, known as the 08 repeater, belonging to the SeaTac Repeater Association, 147.08, with a tone of 103.5 for our voice transmissions. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact with anybody on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So far checked in via video link is Ron, KD7QKU, Lee, N7KC, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in?
N7QO, P7N, Northeast W.
7QO, and there was a double.
WW7N, Whiskey Uniform, 7 November, James in Northeast W.
James, WU7N, and Jim, N7QO. Anyone else? And we'll get the net underway. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave, KD7ZYM. This is KD7QKU. My goodness, James, that's the loudest I've ever heard you. You about blew my eardrums out over here. And Lee, going back to that preamp, I kind of think I'd like to have one that would be powered other than through the coax, would have extra power or something. I don't know what yours had, but that's what I was thinking. And I don't know how much good it would increase, or how it would increase my signal, but everybody, of course, suggested I put it up at the antenna. But I think first I'd try it right at the end of the coax, where it goes into the down converter, and see how that helped. And if that might take care of the problem, and I might be happy. And I wouldn't have to get the ladder and, cut the coax seal and make a waterproof container and all that. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. So my picture, is good enough to watch. It's in the other room. I don't use it very often, but it's good enough to watch. But it would be nice if it was just, P4, P5. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to have company. I'm going to have to leave here in a minute, so I might not be here for the next round. So back to that, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. Let's go on to Lee in Port Angeles, N7KC.
Okay, very good. N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Success? Are making it okay? Okay, good. That's Richard. Richard is signaling in the affirmative. Yeah. Well, good to see you all tonight. Sorry I missed the meeting today. My old friend, that's 1979 or 80, Dick Thorson, K7DST, and his wife, Michelle, who's got a license, I can't remember what it is. They were in town. Actually, they bought 5 acres out here near Striped Peak. And they were over, and we had breakfast with them this morning in the Blackberry Cafe in Joyce. And it was a surprise, so I had fully expected to be at the meeting, and then this came up. So anyway, it was a good time. enjoyed the visit a lot. Yeah, Ron, I'll look it up. It was it was $170, as I recall. At the time, I bought two of them. I do not have one. One of them is on the air digital filter that I produced. Yeah, so one of them was there, and I bought another one for the repeater. And so I personally do not have one in my possession. At the time I bought them, which is now probably 10 years ago, they were $170. And they were what's called an LNA, low noise amplifier. They were the best that we could do for the money at the time. And maybe something better now, I don't know. But yeah, everybody's right. It really ought to be between the antenna and the coax. It needs as big a signal as possible to do a nice job. And the attenuation, I assume that this is at, you can shake your head. Is this at the 1253.25 frequency, the incoming signal? Is that what you want it for? Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if this amplifier is actually specified to go that high, but I'll look at it and I'll let you know. Anyway, I got to go back to my records and figure out what the number was. I don't know what it is right off the top of my head. Anyway, so it was a beautiful day here in Port Angeles. Really, really nice. We got up to 82 today, and apparently a little warmer tomorrow. Gotta go myself. No, I mean that's it for me tonight. Hi, James. It's it for me, not for tonight, but for this session, and I'll send it back to you, Dave, in 7KC, back to net.
7KC, let's try Bob, C9Q, see if he's with us this round.
Hi, thanks Dave for checking things out earlier. I'm on high power and hopefully I'm coming through okay for you guys. Okay, getting the thumbs up, great. So, I don't see my picture yet. I must be delayed on YouTube. But, oh, there I go. Yeah, that's how delayed I am. So, anyway, yeah, just a beautiful day today. It was nice. The meeting was good. We, for Lee, couldn't make it. Rich joined us along with Rob, and so we got a little bit of an update there. And Rich has plans to make improvements generally to his repeater and things up there, but he's very busy right now. He's got a lot going on in his own life right now, so it'll happen when it happens. And it just happens with all of us for sure. Yeah, just a gorgeous day. I kind of hung around the house, didn't do a whole lot, but enjoyed the weather and didn't get too hot. Tomorrow's gonna be hotter, but and then it cools off again, which will be just fine by me. I'm better off in like 60s to 70s. So back to that, K9PQ.
9PQ, thanks for that, Bob. And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Well, let's see. I'm going to switch Bob out of there and switch us back to ITX. Oh, by the way, we have weather service, courteous of K7ITX. I know it might say National Weather Service, but I guess that's a typo. Let's see here. What else do we got going on? Well, it's kind of blurry on YouTube. But anyway, we have a 3-0 game. The Angels are ahead of the Mariners, so that's very unfortunate. And we're looking at the top of the 4th inning, and the Bulls have no outs, so it's not looking good right now, but it's still early, so we'll get rid of that, and we'll put our good Graces up here. And there, I think I got it. So, yeah, it was a very nice business meeting today. It was, I always enjoy having the presence of Rob and Rich, and what they have to offer is always very helpful. And it was just, I thought we got a lot of information out, and I think we know where we stand on a lot of things, so that was good. And I got my voice back and talking, so what the heck. And one last point of order. The last time we had the little weather bug on YouTube, in the background or on, where you guys can see it. We were kind of, or at least James in Bellevue was like wondering about the moon. And, I had this brainiac idea that, fishermen like it, especially when we were salmon fishing. And I love salmon too, Lee, and I do a lot of salmon fishing, or used to. And we were positive a full moon would keep the fish up all night. That they'd have that extra light, and they'd use that moonlight to feed and go to the surface and do all kinds of, the salmon would. And then when the daylight would come and the fishermen come out, they were all done for the day, and they'd go down. We couldn't catch them; they wouldn't bite. Well, actually, I think what was really happening when you have a full moon, that generally, let's see, let me get this, I don't want to screw this up, but I'm about to. Let's see, that's right. So, full moon gives you the bigger tides. The water is higher, high tide, and yes. The water is higher. There's more water when you're trying to fish when there's a full moon, and that's a problem because the fish have more places to run and hide. When it's a new moon, or crescent, a real tiny sliver of a moon, it's the low tides, and the lower of the low and the lower of the highs. And I might have this all screwed up, but I think I got it right. And the advantage there is the fish have less water to hide when there is a new moon. And if that makes any sense, congratulations, K7ATS.
Thank you, Richard. Very interesting. Let's go on down to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. I hope I'm getting in okay on my HT right now. Still problems with the rig here. Haven't had a chance to really troubleshoot it yet, but hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get to look at it. Goodness, full moon, I don't know. Every time I've been fishing, the sun has been out. So I can't say whether I have made that same observation or not. Weather indicator there in the background. I'm not transmitting pictures tonight. My wife is using the computer tonight. Let's see. I know. I saw something on the news which said, remember how a couple nights ago maybe we were talking about people were crying when they saw things on the Webb telescope. Well, I saw something on the news today, and it said that one of the scientists posted a picture of a, quote, new planet, and he confessed that it was not, in fact, a new planet that he posted. It was the picture of a chorizo, which is like a Mexican sausage. So he got this slice of sausage and posted that and called it a new planet. My goodness. It's one thing to post it to your friends, but to put it on the internet, I don't know, that wasn't such a good idea. But I did get a little bit of a laugh out of that. Anyway, let me know if I'm getting in okay. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, full quieting, great signal coming in audio-wise on the 08 machine. And let's move on down to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, since, when I saw this image, I just didn't think it sliced up. Let's see, what would you say? It was just too meaty to be true. But yeah, here's the famous image of the chorizo sausage. I think it's Italian, actually, not Mexican, but it's definitely a spicy sausage. And I think the point he was trying to make, he was trying to apologize for it later, he was saying something about you shouldn't believe someone just because they're in a position of authority or scientific authority. He says you should question and examine things carefully for yourself. So, but his followers, he had some incredible number of followers in France. They didn't like that at all. They thought that was really, they didn't get the joke, I guess. But anyway, so you've all seen it here now. You've seen the image. But I thought that was kind of funny myself. And if you enlarge it and then know what it is, you can definitely see the sausaginess of it. Well, anyway, I guess Ron is gone for the evening. I hope he has good luck with his guest, good time with his guest tonight. And Richard, I posted a link there on NASA's view of moons and tides, because I've always, when I was told as a kid, the moon causes a certain kind of tide, and I guess it's a little more complicated than that. It's there's the phase of the moon, and then there's where the moon's lined up with the sun or not, I think. It has something to do with it all, too. Neat tides. But then I had done research on tides at one point in my life, and I was told in at least the Eastern Mediterranean at that time of year, whatever it was, that the tides really weren't that significant one way or another. So I studied all this stuff to try and figure out tides in the Eastern Mediterranean, and it turned out that it doesn't really matter that much. So that must have been perhaps a combination of the time of the year and the time of the month. It just didn't cause that much of a difference in change in levels. If anybody's actually sailed in that part of the Mediterranean, one question I never got answered was, is it that way all the time? Or is it just certain times of the year? Or is it a cycle, like a sunspot cycle or something like that? And sunspot cycle, I guess we did have a solar event a couple days ago, but it was the wimpiest on the scale of 1 to 5. I didn't really notice anything that different or special going on. If anybody else did, sing out. And Richard, thank you very much for the picture of the weather station. I thought you were just checking to see if we were observing the Weater station, to see if we caught that or not. Anyway, this is James, WU7N in Northeast W with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Let me turn it back to our net control Dave. Take it away.
WU7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the Wave Machine. I see a picture of a new planet, just kind of took a bite out of it. It's authentic authenticity, you might say. And for me, let's see, my garage door now goes up and down. After 25 years, the little black box with the motor in it that's in the ceiling just just went, and nothing happened. The door didn't go up, the door didn't go down. So I found that wonderful little pull chain that you have, the rope with a red handle on the end of it, pulled that, and it released the door, and then I manually was able to open and close. But I got together finally, got a repairman to come out, took a look at it. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a whole new system after 25 years. And he looked at it and says, oh, it's one of those. And he says, we got to fix. It just needs a gearbox change on it. So he said, I'll have to check and see if it's available. And he got out his little handy tablet that's hooked up to the internet and says, it's in stock. I'll get it for you. I'll be there tomorrow. Well, tomorrow lasted up till about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I finally got a hello from him, and he came out to the house, and he had the plastic gears, and he was ready to put them back in. They're nylon gears, and he says they just have a tendency to wear out every once in a while. And he says I was very lucky to get 25 years out of them. So the cost of the gears were like $45, but the installation was much more than that. So anyway, put it in, tested it out, door now goes up and down, so I'm happy with that, and the remote controls work with that. So I'll be able to take my car back into the garage and plug it in to charge it again overnight. So that's what's happening there. And it was not an easy thing. It took 4 phone calls finally to find somebody that would come out. So anyway, this day and age, shortage of materials and people and technicians, I felt gifted after 2 days that I got that repair done. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and it's 73 degrees outside here in Lake City. And the Lake City festivities are going on right now. You can hear bands in the background going down Lake City Way here in Lake City as they're celebrating this week anyway. And so with that, I'm going to go back up to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, very good. Lee here in 7KC in Port Angeles. Okay, very good. Well, let's see. Wonder if I can. I'll just pop my weather station up there so you can see what's going on. I couldn't hear James or Jim on Echo Links. I think they must be on the other repeater. But I was able to turn on 147 or 8 over here and hear James enough to understand what he was saying. But then Dave came on. When he did, I couldn't understand what he was saying, and you'd think I'd hear the same thing, but not. Well, I did some quick sleuthing, and I actually bought 3 of the low noise amplifiers from a company called RF Bay, Baker Alpha Yankee, Radio Frequency Bay. And at the time I purchased them, which was about 10 or 11 years ago, 12 years, they were $150. And they now have gone up to $240. So that may, Ron's interest may evaporate with the price increase. They're a nice amplifier. They have a gain of 20 dB. They have a noise figure of 0.8 dB. That's about the lowest noise figure that I could find on an amplifier that was specified. It'll go to 1400 megacycles. It's called an LNA 1400. And anyway, very nice amplifier. Let's see, that's all I got here. You can see that presently we're at 69 degrees here. The barometer is presently steady, but it's been dropping some today. At the moment, we're dead still. We don't have any wind. And this is UV 0.1 right now. And our incoming solar is only 12 watts per meter square. No rainfall today or yesterday. No lightning strikes in the last 3 months. And then there's some other information here about dew point, station pressure, and that sort of thing. Anyway, with that, back to you, Dave. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles.
Thanks for that. Let's try Bob, K9PQ.
Just a second to get my video going here. Alright, there we go. Well, yeah, the nylon gear stave, I ran into a problem with that with a car many years ago, and it was the Mercury Capri, I believe it was called, and that, instead of having a timing chain or the tooth belt that's common for timing these days, it had gears. It just was gear to gear, and I believe one of the two was nylon, and they did it to make it quieter, and it stripped out on me. I got it fixed, and they put in to replace it with a metal gear, and I understood why they used nylon before, because it had a whine, it had a noticeable whine, but you know, it kept running, so that was a good thing. James, you are more observant than I am. I did not see the Wheater. I see it's now been fixed, but I did not notice that. And the chorizo is hilarious. I had to look it up. I did a search. It originated in Spain and Portugal, and I thought of it always as a Mexican, because you see that in Mexican dishes, but Spain's where it came from and made its way over to Mexico. Yeah, and the whole full moon thing, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I haven't ever looked into that too much. My theory is that the salmon, you don't catch any salmon on full moon because the werewolves eat them all. So I think that's what's going on. I'll send it back to that K9PQ.
Thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Matt on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
I think I mentioned a typo at the beginning of my transmission regarding the weather service, and so maybe that's anyway, I hate spelling mistakes. I just totally detest them, but I've noticed that I make a lot of them now. I make a lot of, worse than that, I get the letters backwards, or how about totally forgetting how to spell? I swear to God, I'm starting to lose it. I don't know what to say about that, other than, yeah, other people never make mistakes, that's right. Oh gosh, I had something really, I had some feedback, and I can't remember who it was for. Oh my God, I don't know. So, yeah, welcome to the club. I'm going to remember what I was going to say, and I'll catch it the next round if we're still alive. K7ITX.
7ITX, Richard. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Hey, you're doing fine. Anyway, we'll see you on the next round. Let's move on down to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, yeah, my apologies to Lee, please. I did look, and my rig is now set up on 110.9 for a tone. I can observe it. I don't know how to change it. It will allow me to select a different tone, which I've done like 3 times already, but it does not appear to store in there somehow. So I don't know what to make of it. I see Lee holding something. Oh, looks like, well, I can't resolve that. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. Oh, let's see, Dick, spelling. Yeah, you know, I'm having similar problems. I never used to have problems with spelling, and now, every now and then, I scratch my head and go, okay, in that word, should there be an A or an E? And, yeah, I have problems too, and, not exactly sure what it is. I do believe it's at least partially related to our maturity, but all I gotta say is I hope it doesn't get any worse for any of us. It's just, I don't know. And to Lee, I will investigate and reprogram this HT once I find the manual on it. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
Thank you, Dave. WU7N here, Northeast Bellevue. Well, I don't know, Lee, if you heard anything. I turned my mic on the other channel, and I don't know if that came through on your computer speaker or not, or if my computer speaker is off right now. So I sent a text suggesting you turn that on. Am I being crabby? Is that what that means? Anyway, I gave it a little bit of yours. So anyway, let's see. I was going to say that you know, people think that their memory is going or something, but stop and think for a moment. When was the last time you really had to spell lots of words? Most do not have to go and spell a complete word and haven't for many years now. And if you think your spelling is bad, talk to a 19-year-old, because they're completely used to autocorrect, spelling checking. When they type on a computer, their words are just close. They're not even really spelled, so they have never really had to learn to spell. I remember my mom thought I was mentally retarded and completely, you know, gone at age 8 because I couldn't spell, you know, pneumonia properly in a medical family. But, you know, it was because I didn't care. Later I did care, and then computers were invented, and then my spelling really improved a lot. But that's because the computer was doing it all. So I don't know. I think all the spelling tests have been dropped off all your cognitive type testing now because nobody can spell anyway. Taking that up as a personal challenge, I try to actually spell words, pneumonia, nausea, things like that, and see how close I get, and then go back and then go over it a couple of times. Because I figure if the autocorrect functions for some reason ever go away, none of us are going to be able to write anymore or type. But it's amazing. I mean, I remember in college, I think it was the first college course I took, first paper I had to do was probably late 70s or something. You paid someone to type it and also to spell check it. Because, you know, I was still writing longhand, which was not an acceptable way to turn in a college paper. So computers were a giant leap forward for me. An IBM Selectric overseas to type reports, I just about went nuts, because it was an IBM Selectric, and if it had the little white tape loaded in it, you could just hit the backspace key and go back over it again. If it had that, we were out of white tape or something, because I remember every misspelling you had to, you know, do the forger thing with the little white correction fluid all over the place. It drove me nuts. It took me 3 times longer to type a report than I should have. So anyway, I think autocorrect is wonderful until my phone starts making totally absurd things and putting totally absurd things out. So I try to look very carefully before I push send. Anyway, I'm on 103.5. Lee, can you hear me now? Just give me a thumbs up or nod ahead if you can. Yeah, okay, so that is working.
Okay, well anyway, that's it for this time around. This is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control, Dave. Take it away.
WW7N, this is Dave in Lake City. You know, I was digging through my boxes and I came up with a little preamp. I don't know if you can make it out or not. It puts out 120 dB from 100 to 1,000 megahertz. And it's got a little knob that you can tweak it up and down, and it has BNC connectors on both ends. It has a 9-volt battery that's inside, and then it also has a spigot on it, one end here or another, that you can actually add. There it is. You can add external power to it if you wanted to, and I've used that with success. And I've used that on everything from scanners to ATV, and it seems to work pretty good. Anyway, that was a cheap version that I picked up at a ham fest many years ago. I have no idea what it sells for. It's from the GRE, whatever it is. Out of Belmont, California. GRE America Incorporated. So anyway, that's one device. And anyway, we'll see if we can get Ron up with a full color picture here pretty soon. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Well, outside of that, I was pretty laid back today, watched a little television, and just got out for a little bit of a walk in the neighborhood, stretched the legs, and got a little exercise. So anyway, a little bit of a health move today. So that's about it. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and so we'll move it back up to Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, very good. Well, first, the amplifier. Well, Ron wants to work on the 1253.25 downlink, and so the amplifier needs to be specified above that, and that's why I picked the 1400 one. And the measure of a preamp is not its gain, but its noise figure. So the question is, how much noise does the preamp add to the signal? All amplifiers add a little something. So the trick is to get one with a very, very low noise figure. And then you want it to work with the largest signal noise ratio possible. That means it really ought to be right after the antenna and so forth, because everything that you put in there just detracts from its performance a little bit. 0.8 dB is a really, really quiet amplifier. So Dave, yeah, the one you have, A, doesn't make it to 1200, and secondly, I'll wager you the noise figure is more like 2 or 3 dB, maybe 4. And in that case, they really actually can add more noise than they correct for if you put them in the line. So you got to be awful careful about noise figure. Secondly, I took touch typing when I was a junior in high school, and that was in 1957, I guess, something like that. And there wasn't even a hint of a digital computer around. The idea was that you had to type your papers when you were in college. That was the argument. But I took the class, and I got pretty darn good at that. And then who would have thought, along comes a digital computer and whatnot. My goodness, you know, what a stroke of luck it was for me to have taken that class, because I'm still a very fast touch typist. And it has really helped out on the CW copy as well. I just transcribe when I get traffic coming in, I just send it straight to Notepad. And then I've got a digital format that I can work with. Let's see, what else? I guess that was the two main points that I was thinking of. I was really lucky to have taken that typing class when I did. Anyway, with that, in 7KC, back to you, Dave.
thanks for that. Let's go on to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, let me get my video switched over here. While I'm doing that, I can say I did a quick search on the GRE Super Amplifier, and they are still out there. You can still get them. I didn't see what the current prices were. I saw one price, I think maybe a current price was $39. And so yeah, it's a whole different animal. It's made for scanners, is what they say. It's, as Lee says, it's not going to have the super low noise floor that these nicer ones have. And I don't know anything. I didn't get to the point where I could actually get the specs. The dial that you showed was for gain. It was 0 to 20 dB is what it said. So anyway, that's that. As far as spelling, yeah, I found with text messages, you know, when you're texting, a lot of times you make little mistakes and it just happens. You can blame autocorrect, but I've noticed that sometimes when I look at what I wrote, I realize, no, I just typed the wrong thing. I just spelled it wrong, but I can always just blame autocorrect now, so that's nice. And the other thing is Spanish. Spanish is one of those languages that is perfectly, as far as I know, with no exceptions, phonetical spelling. So if you can pronounce it, you can spell it. And a coworker of mine from Colombia, he was laughing about the whole idea of spelling bees. He said, that would never happen in Colombia. No one would ever get anything wrong. So I thought that was pretty clever. Anyway, I'll send it back to that K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard in Kent, K7ITX.
Wow, I love the way topics switch. Now we're talking about keyboarding and typing and high school and all that jazz. And you're right, Lee, I took typing, well, it wasn't 1957. It was more like, let's see, probably it would have been 1967, not 57. And I'm thinking, why am I taking this? Well, yeah, the type papers in college is really what it boiled down to. And I typed a lot of papers, being a political science student, and but I guess the cherry on top was when PCs came around, and all of a sudden, I didn't have to pack and hunt like just about everybody else did when it came to the keyboard at work or on the PC. So, or even in college when they had those dang punch card machines. I'm pretty sure you had to know typing to punch your cards even. So yeah, no. But as far as spell check and auto check goes, or autocorrect. How about autocorrect? Something you don't want autocorrected, and I think you might have mentioned that, James, but the repeater doubled over you, and I've had autocorrect change words, and I didn't double check, and it went out, and it was a very embarrassing thing, I'm not going to swear, but I did at the time, and I swore at my computer, or maybe I swore at Microsoft. I don't know whoever invented autocorrect. I always liked auto check, but autocorrect, I didn't ask for that one. On a way Yeah, I think it was Monday, I got a call from the sports car team, and they were stopped. They decided to stop for a two-way radio for the 69 Datsun, and okay, I'm glad they called me. I'm thinking, okay, this is great. Well, except he wanted to buy something. He had to buy something the very next day, and I wasn't into that, but I was going to help, and so I did help, and I found the most expensive setup that I knew he would love, and I turned him on to that. Now, of course, that's the first thing. Oh, wow, this was a lot more expensive than I thought, and he says, I've seen some cheaper ones. I go, yeah, well, I'd look into them, so I'm guessing the next time I see the car, it's going to be set up with radios. A good thing, because when we were in Portland and we had our engine problems and the morning race, we had literally won the morning race. We were about to cross the finish line, and for lack of, I guess, radio or lack of understanding the flags, we came in on the last lap because we had overheated, and we could have won, and it's just because he thought it was the safety flag, which is the white flag. Unfortunately, is used for two purposes, and so needless to say, we went back out for the future of the afternoon, and the words out of the driver's mouth was, I'm not coming in for nothing, I'm going to blow this car up. Well, he didn't come in, he won the race, and the car didn't blow up. Now, I'm sure it needs a new engine, but it didn't blow up. And so next time you see the car, engine and a new set of radios. So what do you say? K7ITX.
ITX, thanks for that, Richard. Let's go on down to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dick, that's good news. He didn't come in, the car didn't blow up. It doesn't get and they won. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Amazing. Let's see. Well, thanks everyone for information about these low noise amplifiers. I should maybe investigate. Maybe I could find one that works better than the one that I've got. I've been debating about doing something different than my current setup anyway. I think my big problem here at the house is too many trees have grown up over the years, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot I can do about that, but otherwise I could see okay on 1.2. There's more snow than there used to be in the past. I can say that for about the past month or so, my 1.2 pictures have been consistently in color, so that's a good thing. And I don't know. I don't know. There's something else I want to say, but I forgot. So maybe next go around. K7ZYM N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
Hey, WU7N, James, Northeast W. Not only should Mexico be spelled with a J, but now Yakima County is now pronounced Yakima County, because it is a predominantly Spanish-speaking county. And I heard a couple people speaking Spanish at the grocery outlet the other day, and I heard
heard him talking about Yakima County and what jobs were out there. I thought that was kind of interesting. That I guess there's 3 counties now that are predominantly Spanish-speaking in Washington State. So the pronunciation of Yakima, which I think was originally an Indian name, is now being pronounced as a Spaniard or Mexican would pronounce it. The other one that was of interest to me, let's see, there was another one I heard the other day that made me smile. I can't remember what that was. It's Yakima County. Oh, I was in an auto parts store pre-COVID, so this is a couple years ago, and I needed just a little quart of motor oil, and the gentleman behind the counter, I couldn't tell if he was from India, as in like, Far East India, or if he was maybe from South America or something like that. So since everybody in the whole store was speaking Spanish, I said, do you prefer Spanish or English? And he just looked at me with a cold stare and said, I don't speak Spanish, sir. And I thought, how do you work in this store? I mean, that must be some really interesting interchanges. I didn't say that to him. I just said, I just heard everyone else speaking Spanish. So I thought I would ask to be polite. He goes, well, that's very nice. What do you need? So anyway, well, let's see. I see we're about 8 minutes from the top of the hour. Clarification from Jim out in Covington. You say you are now getting a color picture. I know at one point you weren't getting anything. I'm curious to know what changed, if you have time to tell us that. My picture turning off 1.2 gigahertz is a blinding 5 with full color on a scale of 1 to 5. It's really good tonight. So I'll have to figure out what causes this and repeat it. This is James, WW7ATS, turning it back to Dave on net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
James, this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. I was going through my trash box and found another device for satellite receiving, and what it says, it's good from 930 through 1,450 megahertz, 20 dB gain, but then it says noise figure is a 5.0 dB type. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or awful. Awful. Well, I guess what can you ask for $2.50 at a ham fest? And it was put out by a very prominent company, Radio Shack. So in its day, it was kind of interesting. I couldn't pass it by. It's been in the junk box for years. As a matter of fact, it's still got dust on it. So maybe that'll end up back on a table again at one of these days in a fantastic ham fest, and somebody will say, wow, what a bargain I got. Anyway, this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Looking over at the temperature outside, it's now down to 72 degrees outside. In the shack, I've got about 75 degrees, so it's a little warmer inside than it is out. And so I guess we can go up to the top to Lee in 7KC.
In 7KC, Lee at Port Angeles. Dave, I noticed Wade seems to have checked in on Zoom, and I'm wondering, do you want to wrap him in here before the net's over? You got to take him next.
Add a picture there. Yep.
Okay, I'm back in 7KC. Well, very good. Yeah, Dave, I'm noise figure 5. Wow, that's really high. Anyway, what that says is, you put that in the line, your system actually gets worse in any kind of modern electronics. Think of it as an attenuator. A 20 dB gain, but with maybe 25 dB attenuation. What it does is add noise. It isn't. Gain is not generally the primary number that you look for in a preamp. It's going to be out in the head of a nice quiet system. It has to be quieter than the system or you're in trouble. And that's why you pay a lot of money for really low noise figure amplifiers. I was going to say, I forgot to start my timer, but you know, if you're doing rag chewing CW, that's where spelling gets to be quite a problem, at least for me. I'm pretty good with my abbreviations, and a lot of people that are experienced, very experienced are, because nobody wants to send a lot of long stuff, you know, when you're working CW. But I get trapped every now and then. And you know, my first pass on something is definitely going to be my best pass. And if I really screw it up, I just say nuts and go on. Anyway, it's really a problem. Well, listen, it's been a fun net as always. I won't hold it. I'll send it back to you, Dave. 73, everybody. We'll see you for a couple of minutes after the net in 7KC.
KC, let's go on to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, let's see, a few things. Yeah, I took typing in junior high or high school, and at the time, I don't even know why I did, but years later, I was very happy because as a programmer, you're typing constantly, and it came in very, very handy. I also do remember the punch card days, and yeah, that's when you've got to be letter perfect. You make a mistake, you got to chuck the card and start over. So at least for one line, that's one line at a time, one line per card. And as an auto parts store, Jim, your first mistake was trying to be polite. They're just not used to it. The only ones worse I've found are motorcycle parts stores. Oh my goodness. They like actively hate you. And they let you know it. So with that, I'll send it back. This is K9PQ.
Let's go on to Richard, K7ITX.
Observation by Bob freaked me out a little bit because and the reason why it freaked me out because I was just at a store where I felt like I was at this motorcycle parts store, just like Bob described. But I'm glad I don't remember because I'm sure it wasn't a very good experience. Because generally speaking, I don't go out very much, and so when I do go out and I go out into the public, I look for places, particularly businesses, where I know the people are pleasant, and I might already even know them, and they know me, and so there's takeout restaurants that usually has real nice people, particularly the Greek restaurant down the street. What is it? Olive Tree, not Olive Garden, but Olive Tree, and I think it's maybe a local franchise around here, and I always like their Greek salad with gyro. Okay, well, that's it for me, and I'm going to say 73. Thanks a lot, Dave. I've enjoyed it, and everyone else's stories tonight. So with that, KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX, and the net does have to come to an end, unfortunately. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the owners and operators of WW7STR 147.08, the SeaTac Repeater Association, for allowing us to use it for our voice transmissions for our nets held on Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So with that, I'll sign off. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Good evening all.